How to never get angry or bothered by anyone. Have you ever found yourself so overwhelmed by anger that it felt like you were losing control? Perhaps a single careless comment, a dismissive glance, or an unexpected inconvenience left you fuming for hours, even ruining your entire day. In a world that moves faster and demands more than ever, emotional turbulence seems inevitable. From the relentless pressure of work deadlines to the everyday irritations of traffic jams and misunderstandings, life often feels like an endless test of our patience. But what if there was a way to rise above it all? Imagine staying calm, composed, and unshaken, no matter what challenges or provocations come your way. Imagine living a life where the actions and words of others no longer have the power to disturb your peace. The ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers exactly that. Rooted in practical wisdom, Stoicism has guided great minds like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus through the chaos of war, political intrigue, and personal loss, all while maintaining unbreakable inner tranquility. Today, these timeless teachings can provide you with actionable tools to master your emotions, regain control over your mind, and free yourself from the grip of frustration and anger. Join me as we uncover 7 life-changing Stoic practices, simple yet profound strategies that will transform the way you approach life's challenges and bring lasting peace to your soul. 1. Embrace willingness. The path to inner peace begins with one simple yet profound principle: stop resisting life. Life, as we all know, is unpredictable, often presenting challenges and frustrations that we cannot control. From minor inconveniences like a traffic jam to larger, life-altering events, we instinctively resist situations that disrupt our plans or cause discomfort. But this resistance doesn't solve the problem, it only amplifies our frustration. The Stoics teach us a different approach, one that replaces resistance with acceptance and transforms obstacles into opportunities. As Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together." This isn't a call to passive resignation or surrender but to embrace life as it unfolds, with all its imperfections. Imagine you're stuck in a long line at the grocery store, rushing to get home after a busy day. You could spend the time sighing and grumbling, stewing in your impatience. Or you could view it as a rare opportunity to pause, breathe, and observe the world around you. The key is a simple shift in perspective: move from "I have to do this" to "I choose to do this." This change in mindset has a remarkable power to dissolve frustration. Take, for example, a seemingly mundane task like washing dishes. Approached with reluctance, it feels like a chore, each plate a reminder of time wasted. But if you tackle the task willingly, even with gratitude, perhaps viewing it as a quiet moment of mindfulness, you'll find the burden disappears. The dishes become a bridge to calm, rather than a cause of stress. This philosophy extends far beyond chores and daily routines. In every situation, no matter how challenging, you have the power to choose your attitude. Consider being stuck in traffic. If you spend the entire time fuming over the delay, your anger grows, and your energy depletes. But if you see it as an opportunity, perhaps to listen to your favorite podcast, reflect on your day, or practice patience, the experience changes. You regain control over your emotions, and the situation no longer dictates your mood. Willingness also brings freedom when faced with life's bigger challenges. Instead of resisting difficult circumstances, you can see them as steps on your journey, shaping you into a stronger, more resilient person. This shift in thinking helps you focus on what truly matters and lets go of trivial frustrations. In Stoicism, This concept is best encapsulated by the words of Epictetus: do not seek to have events happen as you want them to, but instead want them to happen as they do. And your life will go well. It's a call to flow with life's currents rather than fight against them. By practicing willingness, you not only reduce stress but also cultivate a profound sense of inner peace. Each moment, no matter how mundane or difficult, becomes an opportunity to grow, learn, and live fully. When you embrace life willingly, even its imperfections, you unlock a freedom that no external circumstance can take away. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, and the first step toward a life of lasting tranquility. 2. Stop judging others. Why do certain people or situations irritate us so much? Why does a thoughtless remark or a rude action linger in our minds long after it's over? The answer often lies in a habit that many of us unconsciously practice: judging others. Whether it's the stranger who cuts you off in traffic, the colleague who arrives late to a meeting, or the friend who doesn't respond to your message promptly, we're quick to assign labels: careless, selfish, untrustworthy. These judgments seem harmless, but they carry a heavy emotional cost. When you judge someone, you trap yourself in a web of negativity. You assume the worst about their intentions and let that assumption dictate your emotions. Consider the common scenario of being cut off in traffic. Your immediate thought might be, "What an idiot." Frustration and anger flare up. And suddenly, the rest of your drive feels tense and unpleasant. But what if you paused and considered another possibility? Perhaps the driver was rushing to a hospital or distracted by an emergency. Shifting your perspective in this way doesn't excuse the action, but it helps you let go of the anger and move on with your day unbothered. Marcus Aurelius, a master of Stoic wisdom, wrote, "You always own the option of having no opinion." In other words, you don't have to form a judgment about every person or event. By choosing to withhold judgment, you shield yourself from unnecessary emotional burdens. When you stop labeling others, you stop giving their actions the power to disturb your peace. Empathy is the antidote to judgment. Instead of jumping to conclusions about someone's behavior, ask yourself, what might they be going through? Perhaps the colleague who's perpetually late is caring for a sick family member. Or the server who seems distracted just had a tough day. By opening your heart to the possibility that others might be struggling in ways you don't see, you cultivate compassion and dissolve irritation. The beauty of letting go of judgment is that it not only brings peace but also fosters deeper connections with those around you. When you view people through a lens of empathy, you see their humanity instead of their flaws. You begin to understand that everyone, including yourself, is a work in progress. Letting go of judgment doesn't mean you turn a blind eye to wrongdoing or accept harmful behavior. It simply means you refuse to let those actions dictate your emotional state. You can still set boundaries, hold people accountable, and seek solutions without carrying the weight of unnecessary negativity. For example, imagine a colleague constantly interrupts you during meetings. Instead of immediately labeling them as rude or arrogant, you might pause and reflect: is this person simply enthusiastic? Are they unaware of how their behavior comes across? By removing judgment, you approach the situation more calmly and can address the issue constructively without emotional baggage. Moreover, freeing yourself from judgment isn't just about external peace, it also helps you understand your own triggers. When you catch yourself judging someone, take a moment to ask, why does this bother me so much? Often, the things we judge harshly in others are reflections of our own insecurities or frustrations. This self-awareness can lead to profound personal growth. Judging others may seem like a small act, But it creates a ripple effect of negativity that impacts your mental and emotional well-being. By choosing empathy over criticism and understanding over assumption, you liberate yourself from the chains of irritation and anger. Life becomes lighter. And you become more resilient in the face of everyday challenges. The next time someone's actions tempt you to judge, pause and remember this: every person is fighting battles you cannot see. By letting go of judgment, you're not only kinder to others, you're kinder to yourself. You're creating space for peace, compassion, and a richer understanding of the world around you. 3. Let go of control. Have you ever felt your frustration building as you tried to force things to go your way? Maybe you were stuck in a long line at the grocery store, impatiently tapping your foot as the cashier worked slowly. Or perhaps you found yourself clenching your jaw at your boss's unreasonable demands, fuming over the injustice. These situations are familiar to all of us. And they reveal a common truth: much of our anger and stress comes from trying to control things that are simply beyond our power. The philosophy of Stoicism offers a transformative insight here: peace comes from letting go of what you can't control and focusing on what you can. Epictetus, one of the most famous Stoic thinkers, put it succinctly: some things are up to us, and some things are not. When you stop wasting energy on the things outside your influence, you unlock a profound sense of freedom and calm. Think about it: how many hours of your life have you spent worrying about traffic, the weather, or other people's opinions? None of these are within your control. Yet they have the power to ruin your mood, disrupt your day, and drain your energy. The Stoics teach us that the key to inner peace is recognizing the difference between what we can change and what we cannot. Let's break this down with a simple example. Imagine you're stuck in a traffic jam, running late for an important meeting. Your first reaction might be to curse the other drivers, the city's infrastructure, or even your own bad luck. But no matter how much you fume, the traffic won't magically clear. What you can control, however, is your response. Instead of stewing in frustration, you could use the time to listen to an audiobook, practice mindfulness, or plan the rest of your day. By shifting your focus to what's within your power, you turn a stressful situation into an opportunity for growth. The same principle applies to more significant challenges, like dealing with an unreasonable boss or a difficult colleague. You can't control how others behave, but you can control how you respond. Instead of letting their actions dictate your emotions, choose to remain calm and composed. Remember, their behavior is a reflection of their state of mind, not yours. By refusing to let external factors disrupt your peace, you reclaim your power. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up or becoming passive. On the contrary, it requires great strength and clarity. It's about redirecting your energy toward what truly matters: your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This realization is liberating. It allows you to let go of the futile struggle to control the uncontrollable and focus on cultivating a strong, resilient inner life. One practical way to embrace this mindset is to ask yourself 3 simple questions whenever you face a challenge. 1. Is this within my control? 2. Am I wasting energy on something I cannot change? 3. How can I respond in a way that aligns with my values and maintains my peace of mind? These questions act as a compass, guiding you away from frustration and toward clarity and empowerment. Another powerful metaphor from Stoicism compares life to rowing a boat down a river. You can't control the current, the rocks, or the weather, but you can steer your boat. Adjust your oars, And navigate as best you can. By focusing on your actions and letting the river flow as it will. You move forward with grace instead of struggling against forces you cannot change. In our daily lives, this philosophy can be a game changer. When you let go of the need to control every outcome, you free yourself from the heavy burden of constant worry and disappointment. Instead, you become more adaptable, resilient, and at peace with the flow of life. So, the next time you find yourself frustrated by a situation beyond your control, take a deep breath and remind yourself, this is not mine to control. What matters is how I choose to respond. In that moment, you'll feel a shift, a sense of liberation as you let go of the struggle and embrace the serenity of focusing only on what's within your power. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom. And it has the power to transform your life. 4. Embrace imperfection. How often do you catch yourself expecting perfection, whether from yourself, the people around you, or even life itself? You prepare meticulously for a presentation, only for a colleague to make an error that derails the flow. You count on a friend's support, only to be let down at a crucial moment. Or maybe you set impossibly high standards for yourself. And when you inevitably fall short, you feel like a failure. These moments of frustration all stem from one common root, the unrealistic expectation of perfection. Life, as beautiful as it is inherently messy. People are flawed. Situations are unpredictable. And mistakes are inevitable. Yet, many of us cling to the illusion that things should always go smoothly. That others should meet our expectations. And that we should never falter. This mindset, though understandable, is a surefire recipe for disappointment, anger, and stress. The Stoics teach us that true peace comes from embracing imperfection, not as a compromise but as a fundamental truth of life. The beauty of imperfection. To embrace imperfection is to recognize that flaws are not obstacles but opportunities for growth. When someone makes a mistake, it's easy to let anger flare up. But pause for a moment and remind yourself, they're human. Just like me. We've all had moments when we've fallen short, acted thoughtlessly, or failed despite our best efforts. By extending the same grace to others that we hope to receive, we transform frustration into understanding and judgment into empathy. For example, imagine your partner forgets an important date, like your anniversary. Your first reaction might be to feel hurt or upset, interpreting their forgetfulness as a lack of care. But instead of jumping to conclusions, consider this: what if they've been overwhelmed with work or dealing with personal challenges? By shifting your perspective, you'll find that anger dissipates, replaced by a desire to communicate and understand. Imperfection in yourself. Embracing imperfection doesn't stop with others, it's just as vital to apply this principle to yourself. We are often our own harshest critics, holding ourselves to impossible standards and berating ourselves when we fall short. But what if, instead of criticizing yourself, you chose to view your mistakes as lessons? Each stumble becomes a stepping stone, a chance to learn and grow. Let's say you miss a deadline at work. Instead of spiraling into self-doubt or shame, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I improve next time? By embracing your imperfections, you create space for self-compassion and resilience, turning setbacks into opportunities for progress. The power of perspective. One of the most profound lessons of Stoicism is that our emotions are not caused by external events but by how we interpret them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them." When you expect life to be flawless, every bump in the road feels like a personal affront. But when you accept that imperfections are part of the journey, Those bumps lose their power to unsettle you. Imagine you're at a restaurant. And your order comes out wrong. You could let frustration ruin your meal. Or you could laugh it off, recognizing that even the best-intentioned people make mistakes. This simple shift in perspective not only improves your mood but also strengthens your ability to navigate life's inevitable hiccups with grace. Cultivating resilience through acceptance. Accepting imperfection doesn't mean settling for mediocrity or ignoring problems. Instead, it's about focusing your energy where it matters most, on how you respond. When you stop fighting reality and start working with it, you become more adaptable and resilient. For example, in relationships, we often expect our loved ones to understand our needs perfectly, to never let us down, or to always behave in ways that align with our preferences. But this is an unrealistic expectation. No one, no matter how much they love you, can read your mind or act flawlessly. Instead of harboring resentment when they fall short, ask yourself, am I communicating clearly? How can I foster mutual understanding? This approach not only reduces conflict but also deepens your connections. Finding peace in imperfection. The Stoics believed that by embracing imperfection, we free ourselves from the emotional turmoil of unmet expectations. They understood that life, like a beautiful piece of art, gains its charm and depth through its flaws. Seneca wrote, "What progress, you ask, have I made? I have begun to be a friend to myself." This is the essence of embracing imperfection, learning to befriend both the world and yourself. Flaws and all. The next time life throws you a curveball, take a moment to pause and reflect. Instead of reacting with frustration, remind yourself that imperfection is not only inevitable but also essential to growth. When you let go of the need for everything to be perfect, you gain something far more valuable, the ability to find peace and joy in life as it truly is. Embrace imperfection, and you'll discover a newfound freedom. You'll become more patient, more compassionate, and ultimately, more resilient. Most importantly, you'll free yourself from the exhausting cycle of frustration and disappointment, allowing yourself to experience the beauty of life in all its messy, imperfect glory. 5. Take responsibility for your feelings. Have you ever felt like someone else had complete control over your emotions? A rude comment, a thoughtless action, or even a dismissive tone can ignite anger or hurt, leaving you feeling powerless and consumed by negativity. We often say, "They made me so angry," or "She ruined my day." But here's the truth, no one can make you angry or upset unless you allow it. Your emotions are yours alone. And reclaiming ownership over them is one of the most liberating steps toward lasting peace. When you feel triggered, it's tempting to point the finger outward, to blame the person or situation that caused your emotional reaction. But Stoic philosophy reminds us that it's not the external event that disturbs us, it's how we interpret and respond to it. As Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. This shift in perspective is profoundly empowering. Instead of viewing yourself as a victim of external circumstances, you recognize that your reactions are fully within your control. The next time someone's words or actions provoke you, pause and ask yourself, is this worth my peace? In most cases, you'll realize it's not. Why hand over your emotional well-being to someone else? By choosing not to react impulsively, you take back your power. The pause that empowers. When emotions flare, the instinctive reaction is to lash out, defend yourself, or wallow in frustration. But reacting on impulse often leads to regret. further conflict, or prolonged emotional distress. The key to breaking this cycle is cultivating the habit of pausing before you respond. During this pause, take a deep breath and ground yourself. Ask reflective questions like, what exactly am I feeling right now? Why is this bothering me so much? What response aligns with my values and keeps my peace intact? This moment of self-awareness creates a gap between the trigger and your reaction, giving you the clarity to respond thoughtfully rather than emotionally. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to remain calm and composed, even in challenging situations. The power of journaling. Journaling is a powerful tool for taking responsibility for your feelings. At the end of each day, spend a few minutes reflecting on moments when you felt triggered. Write down what happened, how you reacted, and how you could have responded differently. This process helps you identify patterns in your emotional responses and gain insight into what truly affects your peace. For example, you might notice that you're often irritated by a specific colleague's behavior. Journaling about these instances can reveal deeper reasons for your frustration. Perhaps it's tied to an unmet expectation or a personal insecurity. By uncovering these patterns, you can address the root cause of your emotions and approach future interactions with greater understanding and patience. Building emotional discipline. Taking responsibility for your emotions is not about suppressing them or pretending you're unaffected by life's challenges. It's about acknowledging your feelings, understanding their origins, and choosing how to respond. This practice builds emotional discipline, enabling you to face even the most provoking situations with grace. Imagine receiving harsh criticism at work. Your immediate reaction might be defensiveness or anger. But instead of letting those emotions dictate your response, take a moment to reflect, is this criticism valid? Can I use it to improve? By shifting your focus from reacting to learning, you turn a potentially negative experience into an opportunity for growth. The freedom of emotional ownership. When you take full responsibility for your emotions, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of blame and victimhood. You realize that external events have no inherent power over you, it's your perception and reaction that shape your experience. This understanding brings unshakable calm, allowing you to navigate life's ups and downs with confidence and resilience. It's important to remember that this journey is not about achieving perfection. There will be moments when you slip, when emotions get the better of you. The key is to view these moments as opportunities to learn and grow. With each step, you'll find yourself more equipped to handle life's challenges with poise and inner strength. Ultimately, taking responsibility for your feelings is an act of self-empowerment. It's a declaration that your peace of mind is too valuable to be dictated by external forces. By practicing self-awareness, journaling, and pausing before you react, you'll cultivate the emotional mastery needed to face any situation with calm and clarity. This is the foundation of a life lived with intention, resilience, and lasting tranquility. 6. Practice non-reaction. Imagine this: you're in a meeting, and a colleague openly criticizes your work in front of everyone. Your heart races. Your mind floods with defensive arguments, and the instinct to respond immediately grips you. But Stoic wisdom offers a profound counterintuitive truth: not every provocation requires a reaction. In moments of criticism, insult, or conflict, our immediate response is often fueled by emotion, anger, embarrassment, or a need to defend our pride. However, Stoicism teaches that true strength lies in restraint. As Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wisely said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay. This delay, this momentary pause, is where your power resides." When provoked, instead of reacting impulsively, Take a step back. Pause. Breathe. Allow your initial surge of emotion to subside. This simple act creates a gap between the stimulus and your response, giving you the clarity to choose how you want to proceed. The power of silence. Silence is often more powerful than words. When someone criticizes or provokes you, responding with immediate anger only fuels the conflict, giving your opponent control over your emotions. But silence disarms them. It conveys that you are not easily shaken, that you hold your peace above all else. For example, imagine someone makes an unfair comment about you in public. Instead of firing back, you remain composed, choosing not to engage. This restraint not only preserves your dignity but also sends a message of quiet confidence. You're telling the world that your sense of self-worth isn't tied to the opinions of others. Silence doesn't mean weakness or passivity, it's a deliberate choice to rise above petty conflicts. It allows you to respond, if needed, from a place of calm and thoughtfulness rather than emotion-driven impulse. In many cases, silence ends the conflict before it even begins. Why non-reaction is so powerful? When you practice non-reaction, you break free from the emotional control others might have over you. People often provoke to get a reaction, to assert dominance, to shift blame, or to test your composure. By choosing not to react, you deprive them of that power. Consider this: a flame cannot survive without fuel. Similarly, a conflict cannot escalate if you don't engage. Your silence and non-reaction are like removing the oxygen from a fire, it naturally extinguishes itself. Over time, people will come to respect your emotional discipline and self-control, seeing you as someone who cannot be easily rattled. Delaying your response. Sometimes, silence isn't about avoiding a response entirely but about delaying it until you can respond with clarity and composure. If you feel the need to address a situation, give yourself time to process your emotions first. For example, if you receive a harsh email or an abrupt critique, resist the urge to reply immediately. Step away. Gather your thoughts, and revisit the matter when you're calm. This delay can turn a potential conflict into a constructive conversation. Instead of reacting defensively, you can approach the situation with understanding and tact, which not only protects your peace but also strengthens your relationships. Practical steps to master non-reaction. 1. Pause and breathe when you feel triggered. Take a moment to breathe deeply. This simple act signals to your body that you're in control and prevents emotional escalation. 2. Ask yourself questions, reflect on the situation. Is this worth my energy? What's the best outcome I can achieve? Often, you'll realize that reacting impulsively won't serve your long-term peace or goals. 3. Shift your perspective, try to see the situation from the other person's point of view. Their criticism or behavior may stem from their own stress, insecurities, or misunderstandings. By practicing empathy, you can soften your emotional response. 4. Practice gratitude for challenges. Every provocation is an opportunity to practice self-mastery. See moments of criticism or conflict as tests that help you build resilience and emotional strength. The inner peace of non-reaction. Non-reaction isn't just about avoiding conflict, it's about preserving your inner peace. By refusing to let external events dictate your emotions, you create a stable foundation of calm within yourself. This calm becomes your anchor, enabling you to navigate life's challenges with poise and confidence. Next time you're faced with provocation, remember, your silence is your power. Your restraint is your strength. And your peace of mind is too valuable to sacrifice for fleeting conflicts. As you practice non-reaction, you'll find that not only do you gain control over your emotions, But you also foster a sense of freedom and dignity that no one can take away. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, a life of calm, clarity, and unshakable strength. 7. Find joy in selflessness. Imagine this: you're in a meeting, and a colleague openly criticizes your work in front of everyone. Your heart races. Your mind floods with defensive arguments, and the instinct to respond immediately grips you. But Stoic wisdom offers a profound counterintuitive truth: not every provocation requires a reaction. In moments of criticism, insult, or conflict, our immediate response is often fueled by emotion, anger, embarrassment, or a need to defend our pride. However, Stoicism teaches that true strength lies in restraint. As Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wisely said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay. This momentary pause, is where your power resides." When provoked, instead of reacting impulsively, take a step back. Pause. Breathe. Allow your initial surge of emotion to subside. This simple act creates a gap between the stimulus and your response, giving you the clarity to choose how you want to proceed. The power of silence. Silence is often more powerful than words. When someone criticizes or provokes you, responding with immediate anger only fuels the conflict, giving your opponent control over your emotions. But silence disarms them. It conveys that you are not easily shaken, that you hold your peace above all else. For example, imagine someone makes an unfair comment about you in public. Instead of firing back, you remain composed, choosing not to engage. This restraint not only preserves your dignity but also sends a message of quiet confidence. You're telling the world that your sense of self-worth isn't tied to the opinions of others. Silence doesn't mean weakness or passivity, it's a deliberate choice to rise above petty conflicts. It allows you to respond, if needed, from a place of calm and thoughtfulness rather than emotion-driven impulse. In many cases, silence ends the conflict before it even begins. Why non-reaction is so powerful? When you practice non-reaction, you break free from the emotional control others might have over you. People often provoke to get a reaction, to assert dominance, to shift blame, or to test your composure. By choosing not to react, you deprive them of that power. Consider this: a flame cannot survive without fuel. Similarly, a conflict cannot escalate if you don't engage. Your silence and non-reaction are like removing the oxygen from a fire, it naturally extinguishes itself. Over time, people will come to respect your emotional discipline and self-control, seeing you as someone who cannot be easily rattled. Delaying your response. Sometimes, silence isn't about avoiding a response entirely but about delaying it until you can respond with clarity and composure. If you feel the need to address a situation, give yourself time to process your emotions first. For example, if you receive a harsh email or an abrupt critique, resist the urge to reply immediately. Step away. Gather your thoughts, and revisit the matter when you're calm. This delay can turn a potential conflict into a constructive conversation. Instead of reacting defensively, you can approach the situation with understanding and tact, which not only protects your peace but also strengthens your relationships. Practical steps to master non-reaction. 1. Pause and breathe. When you feel triggered, take a moment to breathe deeply. This simple act signals to your body that you're in control and prevents emotional escalation. 2. Ask yourself questions. Reflect on the situation. Is this worth my energy? What's the best outcome I can achieve? Often, you'll realize that reacting impulsively won't serve your long-term peace or goals. 3. Shift your perspective, try to see the situation from the other person's point of view. Their criticism or behavior may stem from their own stress, insecurities, or misunderstandings. By practicing empathy, you can soften your emotional response. 4. Practice gratitude for challenges. Every provocation is an opportunity to practice self-mastery. See moments of criticism or conflict as tests that help you build resilience and emotional strength. The inner peace of non-reaction. Non-reaction isn't just about avoiding conflict, it's about preserving your inner peace. By refusing to let external events dictate your emotions, you create a stable foundation of calm within yourself. This calm becomes your anchor, enabling you to navigate life's challenges with poise and confidence. Next time you're faced with provocation, remember, your silence is your power. Your restraint is your strength. And your peace of mind is too valuable to sacrifice for fleeting conflicts. As you practice non-reaction, you'll find that not only do you gain control over your emotions, but you also foster a sense of freedom and dignity that no one can take away. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, a life of calm, clarity, and unshakable strength. Anger and frustration are natural, but they don't have to control you. By embracing the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, you can cultivate a calm and resilient mind, no matter what challenges or provocations come your way. Remember, your peace is in your hands. It begins with accepting life as it is, practicing restraint, and taking responsibility for your emotions. Through self-awareness, patience, and empathy, you can rise above negativity and live a life of unshakable tranquility. Thank you for taking the time to explore these principles with us today on Stoic Self. If you found value in this journey, please show your support by liking this video, sharing it with those who might benefit, and subscribing to the channel for more insights into Stoic wisdom and practical life mastery. Let's continue growing together, one step closer to a life of peace and purpose. Your journey toward self-mastery starts here. Thank you, and see you in the next video.